G'day guys, and today I'm going to review the game which is between Geelong and Carlton at the MCG. Cats home, 26 points over at the MCG, and what a tough game it was to watch. Obviously, Cats fans will take the win. Definitely wasn't the greatest performance of all time by Geelong, that's for sure. Equally though, Carlton will be ruining missed opportunities and probably felt they should have been either a lot closer or even potentially have won the game with the amount of chances they did have throughout the piece. But again, the Cats did what they had to do. I figure even if Carlton did kick a bit straight at Geelong, flick into gear earlier on. So just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But yeah, it was a very scrappy, ordinary game to watch, especially the first half. There was just 3 goals kicked. I think there was 4 goals kicked between the two sides up into half-time, which is just messy, really. 4 goals, 13, which is not very pretty viewing. It was obviously, I don't know how it was a slippery game. It was sunny, all sunshine, and, where I'm watching the footy ball, which isn't too far away from, the Melbourne cricket ground. But, yeah, it's just one of those funny days, and yeah, obviously a bit of a crowd to watch that one, but yeah, I don't think too many would have been pleased to go see the game. Being either a Cats fan or a Blues fan, you wouldn't be too stoked with what you saw, and yeah, I think especially for Blues fans, just seeing 2 goals, 13 at 3/4 time, what could have been, but yeah, it's hard to describe this game. It was largely frustrating. There was lots of turnovers, lots of fumbles, great pressure from the Blues throughout the game, and they tried to play fast footy, and they were always going to because that's how you get Geelong. And yeah, Carlton's pressure was really good. We probably didn't handle it so well, and when you've got a lot of pressure on the ball carrier, and also you've got slippery conditions, it makes it very, very difficult. But yeah, Geelong did refuse to take the game on early on. They just wanted that control game, that uncontested mark game, keep the ball off the opposition. I'm glad we did open up the gates a little bit after half time, and I was sort of mentioning that they'll pull the trigger at some stage to sort of open the game up a little bit. They generally do because we know they can play a lot better than they did sort of in the first half. But yeah, it's hard to say really because 5 goals, 14, you'd say it's a lot of pressure from Geelong, but Carlton had a lot of good looks, and unfortunately they just didn't execute, and that's been a common theme for a long period of time. I suppose defensively we're okay at times, probably at least when they were bombing it in long. However, though, the transition, and I remember seeing this with the Lions game, the transition from kick-outs is far too easy. We allow the first 1 to 2 uncontested marks, and then all of a sudden it opens the game up, and you're in a lot of strife. And we saw that to our detriment when the Brisbane game was, sort of evident, and we got absolutely torched from the back line. So the forward line's not applying enough pressure. Then the midfields look slow. Then the back line looks just absolutely gone to pieces. But it held firm at times, and did a decent job, all considering. 5 goals for a game's not too bad. And I think Carlton kicked 5-15 a couple of years ago as well when we won by 27 points at GMHBA. So 26 this time around, but when we did sort of really take the game on and to that kick inside the 45, you're normally going to get a score. We had a lot of entries and a lot of opportunities. Probably didn't have that great connection from mid to forward, but when we sort of got on fast breaks and I suppose really allowed ourselves to make the most of Carlton turnovers, we were. Yeah, obviously a lot of their mistakes allowed us back in, and we scored off the base and off the result from Carlton's silly turnover. So some of that was our pressure, but again, a lot of it today was down to Carlton's inability to execute, and we just executed not as worsely as Carlton did. That's how I will put it. But yeah, look, decent around the ball. We could definitely use the ball better going inside 50. Had some good looks and a few nice one-on-one wins. Stanley and Tui in the forward 50 when we could get it in there quick enough to not have 100 defenders come back. as Carlton love to do. No Jones for today would have been a massive win for the Cats. If he was playing, would have been a lot closer, I suspect. But yeah, that was sort of summing up the game. A lot of Cats players, key players, just weren't quite at their best, and yeah, it was just a tough game. But Geelong won't be the first or last team, and that's in the top four that will have sort of these grubby games that you just have to grind out and get a win. It's a very tough time to get wins, sort of late in the year when it's really cold and rainy and unappetizing to go out there. So we'll have a bit of a look at the numbers. Pretty similar disposal-wise, and the Cats kicked the footy. Felt like they handballed a lot more, to be honest. Pleasing stat was getting it inside 50 more. Probably with what's concerning there is Carlton had 19 scoring shots for 38 entries, and one every two is probably a little bit too much. Their efficiency inside 50 was good, but they just couldn't convert. That was probably, and especially early on, and probably for 3 quarters, they couldn't kick straight. Kicking efficiency, because we do chip it sideways and whatnot, we're generally pretty high on that front. We weren't super efficient inside 50. As you can see, the average there. Didn't really make the most of our chances. When we did go inside 50, clearances were dead level. We just won out of the centre clearances. Contested ball, it's always good when the Cats get the chocolates there. That generally means they get the win. The Cats obviously had a bit more of the ball, turned it over more. Felt like they turned it over a lot. And if you allow the Cats to take 100-plus marks, they generally win as well. Got a few marks inside 50. Couldn't kick straight, though. 10 goals, 10 for the game. Led for most of it. Carlton, a couple more tackles. Tackles inside 50. That's bizarre. It felt like they, when we weren't tackling, it felt like they got it out so easily. I suppose to that effect, we did well in periods of time where we could just keep it in our 50. But yeah, the time when you're watching, it doesn't feel like it. But oh well. This is going to be tough. It's going to be very tough to pick out the 3 votes and the 2 votes and the 1 vote for the players. But I think Tom Stewart was best on ground. 25 touches, 12 marks. He was outstanding. And yeah, his ability to just intercept possession, intercept mark is just phenomenal. I reckon there might be some more stats there. 600 metres gained, so that's absolutely huge. And I dare say he'll win our best and fairest. He's the most consistent and most damaging player and most important player, I think, in our side, right up there with Tommy Hawkins. I think without Stewart, he probably stopped so many potential forays forward and goals that we wouldn't know unless he was out. And thankfully, touch wood, he hasn't had too many injuries. 2 votes to Zach Tui. He kicked 2 goals, 24 touches, 5 tackles, 0 tackles. That's Cameron Guthrie stats. I like Tui's game. He often gains a lot of meterage as well. He's really tough and obviously kicked a couple of crucial goals. And yeah, he just uses the ball really well. Didn't have too many winners, to be fair. And I'm giving 1 vote to Henderson. So I don't know if you can call Tui a defender, but he's definitely wing half forward these days. Lockie Henderson gets my 1 vote for his 200th game. 20 touches, took 11 marks, even got a clearance next to his name. That would be absolutely insane. But yeah, he reads the ball as good as anyone in the air, and he's been sensational. A crazy pickup, really, from obviously being delisted by the Cats and then picked up again as a rookie, and he has not put a step wrong really over the last sort of 18 months. So what an excellent pickup he's been, and he gets my 1 vote. We'll go through the rest of the players. Higgins had 25 and a goal, a couple of tackles in there, a few marks. Played solid. He had some good kicks. He had some better kicks this week. Again, I think just a lot of cheap possessions that didn't really hurt the opposition. But again, I think it's one of his more decent games. Guthrie got 28, but he'd have to gain maybe 100 metres, I reckon. 340 metres. No, that's Zach Tui. 177 metres gains. He just doesn't. He's good at getting the ball. He would have had a lot of those 1 metre handballs inside, but yeah, he doesn't. He hasn't quite been the same player since injury. But yeah, maybe I'm being super tough on him, but didn't feel like he had the biggest impact in the world. Dangerfield cracked in hard, but I don't think he played super well. He obviously had 18 and 5 clearances, so he was okay. So could definitely be better. Had a big game last week. And Menegola had 24. He was really solid over the course of the game. He cracks in pretty hard. Parfa wasn't too bad with 16. Also kicked a goal on the goal line. Smith kicked a nice snap. Had 19 touches. He just keeps on playing his role and keeps on kicking on. Stanley kicked a goal. 14 touches, 14 hitouts. Had a few fumbles throughout the day, but again, I think you just got to keep persisting with him. Close was close to a vote. He didn't kick any goals, but he got 15. And whenever he touches the ball, it normally hits the target. And he's very good with his hands, hitting those targets. Atkins wasn't too bad with 16. Gets caught a bit and doesn't break away a bit. Doesn't break away enough sometimes. Hawkins got well beaten by Wiedering. He took a few marks down the ground. He finally changed it up a little bit, but he dropped a few marks on the lead and going up with one hand. But yeah, Wiedering is definitely his bogey man, and they have the same amount of possessions and nearly the same amount of marks. Pews kicked a goal, our first goal of the afternoon, and got 13 touches next to his name. He was decent throughout the day. Myers definitely running up around the ground. Just needs to hit the scoreboard more though as a small, and if that's 0 tackles, he's not working hard enough there to apply that pressure. Rowan was decent. He could have probably kicked a little bit straighter, but a tough day to do that. He kicked 1 goal, 3, 7 marks. I have to just check the top. They really need this, like scrolling down with the stats, honestly. Or I just need to get better at remembering. Holmes was okay. Kicked 1 goal, 2. He missed some sitters, but he kicked his first goal, so congratulations. I think there's definitely players ahead of him. However, they're happy to persist with him. Cole Jesney actually played a good game. He had 14 touches, 4 marks, probably another 100 spoils. But yeah, I felt he was composed, except for that kick out on the full. O'Connor tagged Cripps in the midfield, so again, he didn't rack up big numbers, but he did his job. And let me look at Cripps. He probably got 75 possessions. Just trying to find Patrick. 19 touches and 15 of those handballs. So yeah, decent job. I still think he's a back pocket or half back, wherever you like. Radical kicked a goal, 7 touches. He could have really probably had a bigger day. But yeah, he was so-so. Blitzars was relatively quiet, sort of mobile, but obviously did a really good job. And I'm glad he was at fullback on Harry Mackay, where he should be. Jack Henry was a little bit quiet. He was solid, but geez, sometimes he's unaware and just gets caught. Eddie Betts, he's got him 2 years in a row now. You've got to understand what's going on. So Rowan had an injury late. They're talking hamstring. I swear I saw it on his thigh, so it looked like a cork, but I don't know how he's got ice around his thigh and he's got a hamstring injury, but I am also not a doctor. That will mean he'll be out for a few weeks. So that's Cameron and Rowan to the 3-headed monster, just down and out, which is going to be really tough because Hawk, if he gets stifled or he doesn't get the game on his terms, all of a sudden the Cats' ability to score is, largely mitigated. We'll have a bit of a look at next week, and the Cats are playing Thursday night against the Fremantle Dockers. Short turnaround from Saturday into Thursday. That's a 5-day break, I think, if I'm correct, and going over to Perth. Fremantle, you don't know what type of Freo side will come up. They're definitely better at home. It's going to be a very tough game. I think we'll get the job done. But, yeah, again, it's very tough to win over there. And the Dockers obviously improving there in the 8, I believe, as we speak. So, obviously, huge game. We're going to be wanting to play better than what we have. If we play like we did against Carlton, I think Freo will torch us. But, yeah, really interesting game. I'll have to assess it as we get closer. But yeah, I'd be leaning towards Geelong. It's going to be a very tight game, very tough game. Although I think we'll win. But fingers crossed anyway. For who to come in, well, they'll rush Dalhouse back in for Rowan, I suggest. And that'll play out how it plays out. Selwood will probably come back into the side after his rest, and trying to think of who else was out, who else was in. Yeah, Rowanette will sort of hurt us for sure because he's quite a handy player. But, yep, Selwood will get back into the side. They'll rush Dullhouse back in because he's apparently our best 22, which I don't think he's our best 30, to be honest. But what are you going to do? I'm not the coach, and I don't make decisions based on the selection process for each week. Wouldn't mind it, though. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoy the review. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe away, tap the bell, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys watching the reviews each week and any content I post. So thanks again. I'll catch you guys all next time.